and hello everyone, A Pillow here once again. Before we get into this, I'll just like to say thank you all for 2,500 subs. I forgot to say that last video. If you want to keep seeing the channel growing, make sure to like and subscribe if you do like the videos, and hit the bell icon so that you know whenever I upload. But today we have ourselves an interesting one. So some backstory. I am a Doctor Who fan. Love Doctor Who. Have loved Doctor Who since I was a kid. I've been watching it since elementary school. It's a phenomenal series. I've bonded with many people over it. And of course, being a kid who really liked Doctor Who, and this does relate to what I'm talking about. Being a kid who really liked Doctor Who, I was really interested in Doctor Who toys, props, whatever, because I was 8 and watching it, and I really liked sonic screwdrivers and things of that nature. And the place that I used to go to get my fix for Doctor Who content was a little channel by the name of Vote Saxon 07, who was a Doctor Who YouTuber. And I quite used to enjoy this content. I used to watch it religiously. I picked up some of the language of the person filming it, a man by the name of Stephen McCullough, and I'm giving all of this background to explain why I'm covering this in particular, even though it isn't related to politics all that much. But I picked up on his little language, whenever there is some legal text and something, you'd say legal, something like that. This was a channel that I loved as a little kid and grew out of it eventually, of course, but it's one that I have very fond memories of, and the person who ran it is someone who, parasocially, I guess, but someone that you do not expect to film a live stream, fake a live stream, to function as an alibi for murdering a woman. Yeah. So, the person who runs Vote Saxon 07 is an Irishman, I think North Irish, Northern Ireland, based out of, named Stephen McCullough, and he has very credibly been charged with murdering a woman by the name of Natalie McNally, a pregnant woman at that, and the entire situation is insane. It's not something that, any normal person would expect to happen, and it is something that shocked me to my core when I heard about it. But this isn't the focus. I just want to say everything that I said before does not affect my opinion on this. And I think this can serve as a good example of, even though someone created media that you liked as a kid, does not mean that that person is absolved from this. This man, Stephen McCullough, he hasn't been convicted yet. He's only been charged. But he absolutely murdered this woman. He planned out, he recorded a fake live stream to go live at the time when the murder was happening. There's no reason anyone would do that other than to provide themselves an alibi. He tried to remain close to her family after it happened. He even recorded audio in the family's house secretly after the murder happened to spy in on them. It is very clear that this man did this. And I was shocked over it because I dumped hours into watching this man's content. Even a couple of months ago, before this went down, I had like remembered, because like I'm getting back into Doctor Who again, ahead of, the upcoming season. And I decided to, like revisit his content, and I watched like at least a good 2 hours worth of videos, just like reminiscing nostalgia. It is shocking to hear this, but I don't deny it. I unsubscribed from all of his channels. I stopped following him on all social medias. I'm making this video now saying flat out, this man murdered this woman. And despite any connection, any happiness, any personal nostalgia I have over this man's videos, I acknowledge that he's a horrible person. And I'm no longer going to engage with his videos. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't get. Death of the Author is definitely something to be heated, to think about, to know as important. But it's also important to remember that if the person still benefits from that work, at what point are you willing to just stop engaging with that content? Same thing happened a couple of years ago with my experience with JonTron's content. I love JonTron's content. When I was little, I thought he was hilarious because he was. But then after I watched his debate with Destiny, I can't bring myself to touch his content even anymore. Like, even the old stuff that I like, I can't bring myself to touch it because I know that's just going to feed more into his ad revenue, and I refuse to do that. And ultimately, the choices that we make in the content that we consume is wholly up to us. Ow, that hurt. I accidentally hit my desk. The choices that we make in the content that we consume is wholly up to us. And the question is, at what point do you stop consuming this content? And the eagle-eyed people out there will know that I'm kinda slightly talking about J.K. Rowling. At what point are you going to stop consuming this content? Like, genuinely, what has to happen? Does someone have to die? Like in the case of Vote Section 07, Stephen McCullough? Does someone just have to say some horrifically racist crap, like in the case of JonTron? Or does someone have to feed into a level of societal hatred, of deep societal hatred, that causes people to die, for you to stop feeding into that content? And you can justify it by saying Death of the Author, you can justify it by saying no ethical consumption, but there are still ways to minimize the amount of harm that you do in your consumption. One of the things that I do to minimize my harmful consumption is that I try not to buy products firsthand if I don't have to. I recently ordered a Steam Deck. First place I went to get that Steam Deck was on eBay to see if I could get it there. I couldn't find a good deal there that wasn't going to break the bank, so I went with Valve. But I trust Valve as a company to engage in decent business practices. This phone that I have right now, I have a Revolutionary Girl, Utada wallpaper. Great anime, by the way. Watch it. But this phone is a second-hand product. I got this second-hand, refurbished. There are ways that you can minimize the amount of harm that you do. And by directly consuming this kind of content, you are putting money into the pockets of the people that are harming others. And that isn't something that you can avoid in our society, but it is something that you can minimize. No ethical consumption as a concept is good to remember, but you cannot use it as a thought-terminating cliche, because that's not what it's meant to be. Just because there is no ethical consumption under our current economic system does not mean that there are not ways to minimize the harm that you do. And that's what you should be doing. That's what everyone should be doing, in my opinion. And even if it's something as big as no longer donating to an organization that you find out is doing horrible stuff, or something as small as not eating at a restaurant anymore, like Chick-fil-A, because they support charities that you don't like, and that are harmful. Whether it be not buying Hogwarts Legacy straight up so that more money can go directly into J.K. Rowling's pockets through royalties, whether it be no longer watching a YouTube channel that brought you joy as a child because the person who created the YouTube channel murdered someone in cold blood. There are ways that you can not engage with the stuff. And there are plenty of things out there that you can use as an alternative if you don't want to engage in directly funding this bad content. And I think it's good to explore those ways. For every Harry Potter, there's a Percy Jackson. For every Vote Saxon 07, there's a, Review Tech USA. For every JonTron, there's a Scott Lawaz. There are alternatives. And I think it is fruitful to help explore those alternatives. So that in the event that a creator is discovered to be not a good person, you can avoid it. And so that when or if a creator starts getting crap, you don't feel an obligation to be so attached. You have other avenues. And on top of that, it just diversifies your media portfolio. Nothing's wrong with that. It's something that we should explore. With that being said, I hope you liked this video. It was a little bit of a rant. I didn't necessarily plan this out, but I do like how it ended up turning out. If you like this, make sure to follow me on Twitter, links in the description. Also join the Discord server, links in the description below. I love to have conversations with people there. I'm always reading, so feel free to type and chat out there. I will see it and I will probably respond. And with that being said, if you like this video, make sure to like it, subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you can see when I upload. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Gotta hit the stop record button.